Welcome to A Song of Ice and Fire Symposium. My name is Nav.
And I'm Harmat.
And this is a Game of Thrones, the Prologue. In this prologue, zombies and trees are the bee's knees. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Alright, welcome to the show, everyone. So, Harmat, what did you think of this prologue?
That was very intense for a prologue. Like, I was expecting more like a, hey, this is our... I was expecting like with a protagonist, and the protagonist taking us through like a typical day, you know? Like that exposition. This just left me with more questions.
Yeah. So, I'm just gonna get this stopwatch and you're gonna summarize the prologue within 30 seconds.
Oh, this is gonna be so bad, guys. I'm so sorry.
Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, there's three guys. One's a Sir, so he's like a knight, and he has like the Lord, what's it called? Lordling position. They call him Lordling, so he's in power, and they're on a ranging. They're on a ranging, and he's on his first ranging, because he's like a new Lordling, and he has to prove himself.
14 seconds.
Because he's only like 18, and then, so the other two guys, so one of them, Gared, has been doing this for like years, and then the other guy's like short, and he can climb stuff really quickly, and he's really quick, and people die.
Oh my god, that is, okay. I guess we got a quick introduction to it. I think 30 seconds for your very first time was a little unfair. How about we give you another minute? 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so like these three guys, so the guy in power, like, okay, yeah, like he's the guy in power, but like the other two don't really respect him. Like Will's kind of like the baby, and he's like, don't like Will's stuck in the middle, because Gared and him are both very like, you know, like,
okay.
Yeah, they're both very like, I'm the man. Anyway, because Gared has had like a long life, and like he like actually knows what's going on because he's been part of the Night Brothers or whatever for like a while. And so they're
Black Brothers.
They're going to this like, I have no idea where, but they're going towards the north because they're getting away from the wall. And so they're like, oh, we should go back now because the people have died. But then he's like, no, they haven't died because it wasn't cold enough for them to die.
15.
And so then turns out they didn't die, and there's something called the Others, and the Others are probably, I'm assuming, what like killed all the people that like Will thought were dead but aren't actually dead. So Will's alive. We don't know if Gared's alive, but Sir died. But then at the end I'm like, did Sir die? Or is that another clasping his neck, or is that Sir clasping his neck? I'm just confused.
Okay, I just love the fact that you're calling Sir Royce just Sir.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah.
Because Sir is his title. It's like saying Mr.
Yeah, I know.
So you started off with 3 characters. That
Yes.
is correct. There is Sir Waymar Royce. Waymar Royce. Sir Royce. Let's go with that.
Alright.
Or Sir. Let's just call him Sir. Any other Sir in this series doesn't count. Only he can be Sir.
Exactly.
Then there's Jared/Gared.
Yes.
Which one do you prefer?
Gared.
Gared, okay. And then there's Will. So, you said that Gared and Sir are kind of at odds with each other because Sir, you called him, his position is a lordling.
Yes.
That's really funny to me. Okay, first off, what do you think is a lordling?
Hold up. I think lordling is like just someone in power over the, what was it called? Over the wildlings.
Okay, but they're looking for the wildlings. If he was in power over them, couldn't he just tell them, be like, hey, come over, we're looking for you?
If everyone's like a wildling, that could be like a specific group of wildlings. Like if they're looking for them, they probably don't know them. Well, they don't know them, but like, do you know what I mean? Like they don't...
Yeah, I think you're taking this whole wildling and lordling thing out of context.
Alright.
He calls him Lordling because he was the youngest son of an ancient house with too many heirs. So he belongs to an ancient house, therefore he's a lord, but since he's so young, Gared calls him Lordling.
Oh, I see. And then he says, like, and he'd seen the Lordlings come and go, so that's just his name for them. Like, the people that he's like, yeah, like, you're in power of me, but, like, okay, you're a child.
Yeah.
All right.
All of you are gonna die. I will outlive you.
Yes, I mean,
Which,
we see that.
at the end of this, he does, yeah.
Yes. Or so we think.
Okay, the next thing you did in your said in your summary was that they're heading north past the wall. So is the wall south then?
I think the wall's the wall between south and north.
Okay.
So
makes sense. That's like as good a guess as any. And it's wall with a capital W, so you know that it's like
the wall.
Once people talk about the wall, it is the wall.
Yes.
It's not just any old wall. And you said Sir dies, but the other two live. Did you completely miss the very end of this prologue?
Yeah, no, no. Okay, because the thing was, you know how your brain goes into autopilot?
Yeah.
So for most of the ending, you know, it was like, oh, Sir died. But then, so my brain went into autopilot. I think I even said right after saying that, I was like, oh, wait.
Okay, do you want to sum up what happens in the last page for me? Just like a quick...
Okay, hold on. Let's go to that page.
Just what do you remember?
What do I remember?
Yeah.
So, like, you know, we think Sir's dead, and several hours later, Will comes down from his little branch or whatever, and, so then he, like, picks up the sword, because he's like, oh, like, I'm gonna go show this to the people, or the fragment of the sword, and then Sir, I think, who's still, like, somehow alive, just, like, grabs him.
I believe the word is undead.
Yes, who is undead, grabs him. So, like, is he an other now? Like, is that what happened? Like,
what happens when he grabs him?
I don't remember.
How does he grab him? Does he grab him by the leg?
The neck.
Therefore,
he's killing him?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. No, I was like, yeah. No, sorry. I didn't feel like I had to say it. Sorry.
Okay, but it seemed like you believed that Will and Gared made it out alive, whereas it's clear. No. Okay. No. All right. Just wanted to make sure we were all good. All right. We find out that they have been out for a while, and that if they were to return, it would be like 10 days back to the wall. So they're like pretty far away.
Yeah.
And they are part of something called the Night's Watch. Yes. What do you think that is?
I mean, there's something in the night, and they gotta watch it.
Okay.
We know that there's others, and gotta watch the castle throne.
Watch out for them, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah. So, the Wildlings, whoever or whatever they are, they're raiders.
Yes.
What do you think they're raiding?
Well, the wall separates the north and south, I'm assuming. Okay. But it could also be protecting it from something. So they're raiding whatever's being protected by the wall.
All right. Good assumption. They start getting a chilly feeling. Gared is all like, we should return. Will agrees with him, but won't speak up against the Lordling. Yeah, so they're talking about how Will saw the dead bodies of the Wildlings, but Sir is like, oh no, I want to see them by myself, and they kind of argue back and forth, but, you know, he's in charge, so they have to do what he says. Gared is like, if Will says they're dead, I believe they're dead.
Yeah.
He says that he believes that they froze to death, but the Lordling points out that it's not cold enough for anybody to freeze to death because the wall was weeping. What could the wall be made of that would result in it weeping on a warm day?
Ice. So the wall that they have is just made of ice. Okay, all right.
Yeah, so Royce and Will forge on ahead to the little place where Will saw all the Wildlings. When they get there, everything is in the same position, except there are no dead bodies.
Yes.
What did you think of this?
I was like, oh my god, like something's fishy, y'all gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
And he pointed out that just like the axe was there, and I was like, okay.
It's a very valuable weapon, so nobody would leave that behind if they were just moving on. Because Royce seems to think that they just moved on.
Yeah.
But at that point, Royce orders Will to climb up a tree to see where they might have gone. And as Will is climbing, he hears something and it seems to get cold. And then he looks down and he catches like glimmers of something, but he isn't quite sure. He says it's like a pale shadow, a white shadow. Mm-hmm. He kind of convinces himself that it may not have been anything at all, but then it gets really cold to a point where you might believe that those wildlings may have actually frozen to death.
Yeah.
And then a figure emerges from the wood, a tall, gaunt figure with flesh pale as milk.
That, I was like, oh.
And armor that seemed to change color as it moved. I think there it's supposed to be some like crystal or ice-like, so that it's like reflecting. It's a very reflective surface. And it's referred to, this figure is referred to as the Other, like with a capital O.
So this definitely isn't like, oh, what is this? We've never heard of this before. Because they have like a specific name for it. I guess the Others, because they don't know like
what they are, maybe. Possible. And the Other has like this long sword that is just basically like it's just a sword made of ice that is so thin that if you looked on it like right on its edge, you may not even notice that it's there. That seems intense. Yeah, and the Other has very blue eyes. Blue, deeper and bluer than any human eyes. A blue that burned like ice. Ugh, doesn't that just send a chill down
like,
here? Yeah, so this Other and Royce kind of battle it out, you know. Royce is really like heaving with effort, whereas the Other is basically just like swiftly moving through the air and just barely lifting his sword. And at one point, when their swords meet, Sir's steel sword actually shatters.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. Whereas you would think like something made of ice might shatter, but the sword isn't just ice. It has like a faint blue shimmer around its edges. There's something, he calls it a ghost light that played around its edges.
Yeah.
Something interesting going on there.
Yeah, definitely.
Will also notices that the Others, they speak a language, not one that he understands, but like a very mocking kind of language as they're talking to each other. And they have like sharp laughter, like icicles. Mm-hmm. So that's interesting to me. That says that they're like not just mindless zombies or anything. They have a mind of their own.
Yeah.
But they don't look like zombies. Like zombies you would expect, like at the end when we see Sir Royce rise up, he looks like a human being who was killed. But the Others do not look anything like human beings.
Yeah.
So, to avoid you any confusion in the future, I'm just going to tell you there are different things. There's the Others, and then there's zombies.
Okay. Wait, so they're like called zombies, or they're just zombies?
I'm going to say they're zombies. I'm not going to tell you what they may be called.
Okay.
Yeah, so Will watches as this whole thing goes down. He stays up in that tree for a while until the whole place clears out, and then he climbs down. As you said, he finds the part of the sword to show people, like, look what happened. And as he's, like, turning around or something, it says, Will rose. Sir Waymar Royce stood over him, which we had just like noted was dead, lying on the ground. And he has like a shard of steel in his left eye, but his right eye is open and the pupil burned blue.
Yeah.
And it saw. So we know that his eyes were gray before, now they're blue.
Yeah.
His touch is icy as he tightens his hands around Will's throat. And we end the prologue.
Yeah, that was a lot of imagery. Kind of felt that ice at the end.
Definitely. Now let's talk about Gared. That old man is tough.
Yeah.
Do you think he survived?
I think so.
Like, at the end of this, we don't know if he's dead or not, but...
I think, because this is the prologue, right? Like, there needs to be...
Does there?
I feel like it's not just background. I feel like someone's got to get out of here and be like, okay. And Gared just seems like a character who's supposed to survive.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, assuming that Gared survives, what do you think he'll do?
Well...
What's next for him?
I'm wondering if he's seen this kind of stuff before, right? Because one of the first things we hear about him is he's like, oh, I've seen the Lordlings pass. So that's definitely like, I think that's foreshadowing of like, you know, because he passes and he's still alive and all that.
Okay.
But I'm wondering...
But what's his next step?
Well, if this happens to him regularly, he's probably not gonna do much. Like, do you know what I mean? Because I feel like he doesn't have a lot of power. Like, what's he gonna do?
Okay.
If he's really like, is he gonna go to...
So he's just gonna go back to his, Night's Watch or whatever and just like, oh yeah, those two died. Sorry.
Well...
On to the next ranging.
He could, but that probably won't happen. Like, he'll probably go and they'll be like, oh, it's fine. Like, this has happened before. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, earlier, Gared, when he's talking about that the cold killed the wildlings, he says, I saw men freeze last winter and the one before when I was half a boy. So if he's like over 50 now and he was half a boy 2 winters ago, what does that tell you about seasons?
Oh, that's what that meant. See, I was really confused when I got to that, and what I took it as was I was like, oh, by half a man he just means like immature rather than actual age.
It's age.
Okay, well, I see. Oh, but when I got to that section, it reminded me of a spoiler that I didn't realize I had until now. You know, when things come back? Isn't there a meme about, like, winter is coming? That's all I know. But I read it somewhere, and it just, like, struck me, and I was like, I know that. And then I was like, oh, that was, like, memes, right? But, yeah, anyway. That was definitely, yeah. Wait, what was your question? Oh, yeah, you were like, oh, what does it tell you about winter? Well, winter is long. Winter is very long. I will note that down. Yeah. That feels very important.
Do you want to turn over the page and look at the chapter title for the next chapter?
Okay.
The very first chapter of this book.
Bran?
Yep.
That's literally useless.
Well,
Bran? All I can think of is cereal.
Do you think cereal is very important in this world?
No, I definitely don't. Bran. But that's Braun. I was like, oh, like Braun, but no, this word's Bran, not Braun. Is Bran a character? A name? A place?
Is Bran a character?
My best guess is it's a character.
Okay. Who do you think this character is?
Bran?
Yeah, if it's a character.
It's Gared's friend.
Okay.
Yes.
So Gared is gonna go see his friend Bran.
Yes.
If Bran is a person.
Yes.
Cool.
Or a cereal.
Oh, how anticlimactic was that?
That was awful. I was like, yes, it's gonna be like the game begins or something, you know? Because it's a Game of Thrones. But no, the game definitely is not beginning. It's Branning.
Yeah. No, it was not a very descriptive chapter title. But yeah, what did you think of this first prologue? Are you excited? Has this increased your excitement? Decreased it? Has it remained the same?
It's just the same. I feel like I don't have any yet. I'm just kind of like, okay, this world
Whatever.
Exists, you know?
Okay.
But yeah.
That is a fair assessment, honestly. I think that's all we have for this chapter then. Thank you to everyone for listening. Tune back in next time for when we read the first official chapter of this book called Bran and learn about all kinds of cereal. Hopefully not. Thanks for listening. Farewell, my friends.
Talk to you later.